Alright, you're with Al, and this is where I normally say something about what this video is. Down the Line was a series that me and the Biff did. The Biff, by the way, is Paul Waring, but don't call him Paul Waring because his name's the Biff. Alright? We got people in, spoke to them about golf, but it wasn't always golf. We had loads of different people in, talking about rugby, footy, sports psychology, golf, obviously, because it's a golf channel, and wildlife. This week's a little bit different because we haven't got a guest. It's just me and the Biff catching up because we haven't spoke for a while. Certainly not on here because Paul selfishly left me and went and played golf tournaments again, back on European tour. So talking about what he's been like, how he's been playing, what his form's like, what it's like playing in the bubble. Not literally playing in a bubble, but in the European tour bubble. What it was like playing US Open at Wingfoot, coming back from injury, how he feels about his game there. The Biff's still got plenty of tournaments to play in, and he's making a push towards the end of the year, trying to get into that race to Dubai. That's his plan, so I'm probably just giving a bit of the video away there because we talk about that. So anyway, yeah, he's still got plenty to play in. Keep an eye out for him. Hashtag back the Biff. Hashtag the Biff's back. Hashtag can I have the Trackman back, please? I'm sorry for breaking it. Not too long a hashtag, so let's just get on with it.
I'm the subject this week. That's it. I'm big time.
Yeah.
That's it.
This week
It's all about me.
All about Biff.
It's all about me.
It's Biff's comeback / stop again.
He
Like,
was fit. He's not
accelerates
now.
up to the light, slams on, car breaks down again. And then he's off again. And then it breaks down again. Just like keeps stalling at the lights all the time. I wanted to start off, just let's give us a little brief update on how you've been since you've got, because I lose track of time. I mean, I know we were locked down, then you started again, then you got injured, then you come back at the Belfry. That was when you left me.
Yeah.
I don't know how long, for like 6 weeks or something.
I'm really sorry. I feel like this is like just a long distance relationship now. We're like we don't even get to see each other anymore, and I've come back home and still can't see you.
6 weeks.
I know. Terrible.
So anyway, selfish. So you were back out at the Belfry. Talk us through the Belfry, because I know you went straight back out. I know you didn't get to play that much before it because you were, it was right up to the case where, right, I feel like I could just about play now post the back injury, and you were straight out, weren't you? It wasn't like, I'm ready, I've got 2 weeks preparation to batter it. You were pretty much, okay, I'm ready, let's go play tomorrow. Actually, this was when we went out and played 9 holes. You said, I've got a tournament next week. I need to make sure I can go and play. I need to make sure I can swing it. So we played 9 holes. And honestly, right, this was genuine. Played the front 9 at Bromborough. First hole, bit left into the green. Second hole, I think you were left off the tee and then left second shot. Fourth hole, par 3, missed it left. So first 4 holes, he's missed it left. And then on the 5th tee, he went, I think my grip's gone a little bit strong. So he literally moved his grip. Left hand went from like there to there, and he hit it. Didn't hit it outside 5 foot for the next 5 holes. Didn't miss the fairway. Didn't hit it outside 5 foot. And I was like, you absolute bastard. Why is it that easy?
Yeah, that was a bit funny.
I've been searching for the last 25 years to find out what it is. What it was, your grip was just a little bit strong. That's how I'm going to try now.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I remember that actually. Yeah, it was just just a little bit left body start opening, a little bit left body. I was like, that grip just feels a little bit stronger. Just weaken off just a smidge, and it literally went from being down that way to just there. It was like, yeah, got it.
That probably is one of your big strengths, is knowing exactly where your shots come from and knowing your own golf swing. It's something that a lot of people would take a lot of knowing what your faults are, knowing where they come from, where your bad shots come from. So when you're out playing, you can go, you know what, I can take a side out of play here if I do this.
Yeah, it's funny, I almost get worse the more I play.
yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think you do, yeah.
It's like I don't know, I almost come out with such a free, open mind and just no expectation and go and just literally put bat on ball, see where it ends up, go and play from there type thing. And then as soon as I'm feeling good or played a little bit, I don't know whether I start trying to take a bit too much on or something like that, but I'd literally just get worse and worse and worse the more I actually play. That first week back in the Belfry, I literally,
You were straight back into contention. Yeah. I think at one point you were leading at the end. When you finished the second round, I think you might have been leading. Then a couple of people overtook. I think you were third going into the weekend. I was like, wow,
it was funny because like belfry, if you drive it good, there's a lot of wedges, and wedging it is one of my real strengths, really. And you had to take the spin off it as well. So you had to have not only hit it on a number, but you had to be able to drop the flight down, control the spin into greens, blah, 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 which I feel like I'm actually half decent at. Yeah. So it was raining, but there was no wind, and I was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And then I got through Thursday, Friday playing okay. Made a couple of mistakes, which you're going to do.
You have a bit of rough, aren't you?
Yeah, just hit a couple of iffy tee shots. I think I played the 18th in 5 over for the week or something.
Not the easiest out though, is it?
No, not when you're not quite sure where it's going yet. Yeah. You've got a good idea, but not quite sure. And then we got to Saturday, and it was just really windy. And I hadn't played any golf for months in the wind. Had no feel, had no idea how to knock the ball down again, have that little half swing, that taking the speed out and knocking the flight down. I literally just felt like as soon as I did that, the ball could have gone anywhere, left or right, where I like to just try and miss it on one side, like from one side back to center. It literally starting left and right. I was like, I have not got a clue what I'm doing here. And I had a bit of a mare on the Saturday and dropped back, but played okay on the Sunday, and I think I ended up finishing top 20, which, first week back out, I would have snatched your hand off for, really, because honestly, well, you saw it, like I just hadn't played, hadn't done anything.
When you talk about that as well, I never really understood before when people say, oh, a bit rusty. It's like, well, you're playing golf, but I think exactly what you just said about the wind. You tuned in when you're playing all the time. You tuned in to know exactly, almost like a feel of a wind. You know how much that affects. You know how much you have to hold it up, or you know how far left of a target you have to start it, or anything. That I think that's when the bits of kind of rust come in. You're not used to seeing that, or certain slopes, how much it affects a chip landing spots.
Yeah,
and it's a difference in chipping it or hitting a shot in the green and just missing, or hitting it to 6 foot instead of 3 foot, isn't it?
It's funny that though, because my back was bad and I wasn't able to hit driver and go and actually play. I did quite a bit of chipping and putting. I think I was number 1 in scrambling for the week. So just that's all I'd done. Just chipped and putted and pitched. Maybe there's something in that for me. Just do loads and loads of that, and then obviously I can just keep myself in contention, because I'm never making more than par, really, because I can always just get it up and down.
So the chip and green back garden has been pretty decent investment.
Yeah, worked well that.
So you went from Belfry top 20 to Valderrama week after.
Yeah,
that looked easy.
Valderrama, 20-mile-an-hour wind. So what I've done is I haven't played any golf, and I've basically dropped myself in the deep end at the Belfry. Yeah, fine. And then I've just basically swum out into the middle of the ocean with sharks everywhere. Is the equivalent of like Valderrama, and then a 20-mile-an-hour wind on top of Valderrama. So everyone's like, only 20 mile an hour. It's like, no, a true 20-mile-an-hour wind, not 20 kilometers an hour, 20 miles an hour.
Gusts just
that's pumping.
Yeah.
And especially around there, because you literally around that place, you've got to hit it into sides of fairways, not just in the fairway. You've got to hit it down the left side of a fairway or the right side of a fairway. And you've got 20-mile-an-hour crosswinds. It is just brutal.
And greens, you said to me you stood over it, basically shitting yourself over a 4-footer, thinking, if I don't hole this, I'm chipping or I'm pitching.
Yeah. So I'm not going to name who it was. One of my playing partners nearly de-greened it on the 10th hole on the Friday. And if it literally just literally into a pitch mark on the front edge, if it didn't go into that pitch mark, it was 80 yards away and a water hazard.
Honest?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Literally, you are just having a heart attack over every single golf shot you hit around that golf course. It's amazing.
I spoke to you when you were there, and you said, I can't remember what hole it was. I can't remember what one it said. You'd be able to tell me, but it said the green's like 27 deep, the pin's like 24 on, and there's a slope at basically 20. Where if you don't get it past that, it's front of the green, and if you hit it past the pin over the back, you can't keep it on that ledge, and it's off the front of the green anyway.
It's just, mate. It's
There's
just
no bailout, is there?
no. You've either got 30, 40 foot from the front edge, or or you're just going to chip it down to the front edge anyway if you hit it long. So up to you, which one do you want?
How do you stay positive over shots like that when you stood over it, knowing that if it's not perfect? Because I think that's where confidence comes from. It's knowing you don't need to be perfect, and you can actually play a shot that's not perfect, and you'll get away with it. Whereas there is literally no room for error. So how do you stand there and make a shot better?
Because there's no room for error, you kind of appreciate that, and it's kind of like, well, to be fair, all you'd ever trying to do, say in that situation there where say flags at 25, the first 20s false front, and you can't go long. You're trying to hit it at 21, basically. If you get it at 21, brilliant.
Yeah.
You've got actually a chance of making birdie. If you don't, you've just got to put from the front edge. You just got to be good at lag putting from miles away, basically.
But it's brilliant, isn't it?
What's that?
It's brilliant. It's not like a joke. It's brilliant.
Well, no, some people hate it, which I can totally understand. I can totally see how someone can go there and go, never coming here again. Where I don't know what it is about Valderrama for me. Don't get me wrong, I actually haven't done that well around there. I've missed a load of cuts. I don't think I've finished inside the top 40 around there.
Yeah.
It's not a place I go and I'm like, oh yeah, I play great round it. That's why I love it. But I don't know, it's just it's the challenge of it and the condition of it, and it's just one of those places. It's mega. And then from there, where do we go? Portugal.
Portugal, yeah.
And Portugal this year, we had a bit of rough. Well, we had a lot of rough, to be fair. So we had like Bermuda, so it was a couple inches deep. Woo! Literally, if it just took a hop into it, could lose it.
Well, it's always
3
been
minutes.
24 under there, hasn't it? It's one in the past.
Yeah, literally
a lot tougher.
Mate, 3 minutes isn't a long time when you're not too sure where your golf ball is. Especially like we didn't have any spotters or anything. Obviously pampered tour pros and all that sort of stuff most weeks. But honestly, again, one of the playing partners missed the par 5, left into the 5th hole. Missed it just left, pin eye. Not a bad shot, just carried one of the traps, just over one of the traps, 10 yards from the flag.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 57 seconds it took to find it.
Honest.
Yeah, like literally panicking, like so close to him marching back to the middle of the fairway.
Like dog leg left 5, innit?
Yeah, no, but the course is in great nick. Greens were best have seen it, but it hadn't been played, so the greens were the best have seen it for ages. And with that little bit of rough and a little bit of wind, it was a nice challenge. So obviously Valderrama and then the rough there was ideal prep really before obviously getting the call to go to US Open.
Well, what was, just so we get onto US Open, what's that like? You said about like spotters and stuff and hitting shots when you could lose a ball all of a sudden, because you never, unless it's in water, you're rarely losing golf balls, are you? Because you've got people everywhere. But what's that?
Yeah.
Does that make a difference to you stood on the tee? Because I always think if you stood there and you've got people there and spotters, then you can stand there and go, you're not actually saying this to yourself, but you know that you're not losing your ball, really. So you can stand there and welly it if you need to, you know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong. If you just hit one over there, like gone, then you fully expect to be provisional ball and off you go. It's when one pitches in the fairway, has a couple of bounces through the semi, and just nestles in the next bit, so it's a foot in the rough, and you're going, where is it?
Yeah.
And it's hard to actually like explain that, because you're a bit like, what? Of course, you're just going to find it's just off the fairway.
And you'd
honestly, unless you are anyway, wouldn't you? Unless you are literally on top of the golf ball, the grass kind of does that on top of it as well, so you just can't see it.
Good coming out of injury, that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's good. To be fair though, you could play. There was, you can either get away with it a little bit and hack it up there, and then I had one where I could barely move it 20 yards.
Okay.
It's just what it is, and
really,
yeah, a little bit, but it was great to see the golf course like that again. It really was.
So you were, close to top 20 there again, weren't you?
Yeah, I think I was top 20 most of the week, and again, I think I just shot level or 100 on the last day. Just went backwards a little bit down into high 20s, maybe 30 or something like that. But again, look, I hadn't played, I hadn't done anything. 3 cuts on the spin, coming back out. I was quite happy, really. So yeah.
And then it was the call for US Open, which great, brilliant to get the call to go and play the US Open. But for you, preparation wise, just from my point of view, this preparation wise, knowing what you're like, I was like 4 weeks on the spin, US Open being the 4th week in a row. That's gonna be difficult, because that's how you try and manage yourself. So you don't really do more than 3 which is difficult to do at the moment with the way the schedule is. But you try, you play your best when you don't do more than 3 in a row. Do you know that 4th week is always a tough one, and then
I always try. Yeah, I always try and have. I would have liked US Open as a 2nd week, maybe.
Yeah.
Or even a 1st week, like a week off, and then just go to US Open. But yeah, US Open's the 4th week, couldn't be helped, just what it is. And it, it was amazing to go and play. So I'm not going to turn around and go, no, I'm not going to US Open. It was, to go and play a major in this sort of current climates and stuff. Of course I want to go and play it and go and see what it's like. But yeah, ideal world, ideal prep. That's not how I would have done it. Definitely not.
Yeah. And you got on TV, didn't you? Hold a pitch shot, so that was good.
Yeah. A new commentator on it. Said about my baldy head.
Yeah, you took your hat off, sun bounced off it, ruined the glare on the camera, and you had to put it back on.
Perfect, yeah.
Good shot though.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. You know what? I actually looked back at that because it's kind of gone up the hill, hasn't it? Spun and come back. That missed the flag. That was off the green front edge.
Really?
Even at that pace, yeah.
Wasn't going that quick.
No, it was literally right on the cusp of a slope. So literally, as you get past that, it just goes down, and it'll just be nestling against this much rough, like against it. It would have been like that. Would have been absolutely minging. Well,
it probably shows the balance between birdies and bogeys around there. I think it's probably where it plays so tough. And I don't think, I was trying to put this into perspective the other day, and I don't think you could probably, I mean, you can say it better, but trying to explain how hard that must be that one person in a world-class field like that is shot under par. One person. And then everyone else is over par. That must be like, you can't even explain how difficult that must be, because yourself, you've just said at Portugal, you shot 1 under and went backwards in the last day. Now, Portugal is not easy. Like, that is not an easy golf course. It looks easy on TV when people are shooting 24 under par for 4 rounds. It's not. Like, I play it every year in a program, and it is not easy. I think I've broken 90 about twice, but but it is not easy. So for one person to shoot under par and it be Bryson, it must have been just ridiculous.
Don't get me wrong, it is really hard. It is really hard, but I thought it was very playable. They could have gone much worse with it. Yeah. So Shinnecock in 2018, where I played, that was ridiculous. That was almost unplayable.
Yeah.
Like, so the difference between Shinnecock and Winged Foot, if you did get the ball in play off the tee, you could always hit the green. I know that sounds daft, but you could always hit a green. Shinnecock, there's some greens you just can't hit. Now that sounds ridiculous, but like, there's a par 3 there, the 7th.
Is it Shinnecock?
Yeah, Shinnecock. You can't hit that green.
Didn't you say
if it's firm, you can't hit it
because you can control it better out of a bunker?
Well, all it does, and this is what US Open does, is basically. So I know we're talking about Winged Foot, but just going back to Shinnecock. All US Open does, it just challenges different parts of your game. So on that par 3, the challenge was, can you get it up and down from 20 yards along with the green? That's the challenge, because you, as a tour pro, you should be able to get it up and down from 20 yards to make par.
Yeah.
That you should be able to do that. Like on another hole, they would have put the pin right on the front with a trap short, so 4 on, rock hard green. So all you're doing is pitching it in around the flag, and it's going to 60 foot. The challenge on that hole is, can you 2-putt from 60 foot?
Okay, yeah.
That other holes, it'll be, can you actually hit this fairway?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you make bogey. So the US Open, and especially around Winged Foot, if you go there with any iffiness in your game at any point, whether driving, iron play, pitching, chipping, bunker, whatever it is, if you've got a slight weakness, it's just magnified massively. And that's what it does to you. And
you can't scrape it round.
No, absolutely not. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the rough off the tee was that thick. They'd over fertilized it, got it that thick that it was almost too thick for the ball to go to the bottom of it. So it sat up on it a lot of times.
Yeah.
There was the odd time where it went right to the bottom and you were absolutely dead.
Yeah.
And typically as well, like the holes where it doesn't matter if it's down a bit, you can get wedge on it and get it somewhere up there. That's fine. But for some reason, the 12th hole, a par 5, 660 yards into wind, you miss that fairway. Well, you can't get it there in 3.
Oh.
So if you don't hit the fairway, you can't. You're working so hard to make par. And again, these are the things. It's like it was a par 5. It's a chance to make birdie, but 660 for 1. You miss the fairway, you are literally hacking it out 10, 20 yards. Then you've got 3-wood in your hand that can't get to the green. So then you've got to try and hit 3-wood. Now, whatever you do with the 3-wood, don't miss the fairway with the 3-wood as well. So you've got to lay it up.
Easy rack up a 7-8.
Without really hitting a bad golf shot, without really doing anything wrong. And then you've got the greens to kind of try and figure out as well. The thing with the greens,
you've got to hit driver, haven't you? You have to hit driver, because
you have to hit driver.
You say, oh, I'll hit 3-wood and try and find a fairway, whether you hit 3-wood straight or not. But if you hit 3-wood and miss a fairway,
you're just even further back.
You're like,
but this is how quickly you can make doubles and triples around there, like without doing anything. It's you literally. So a lot of the holes, it's driver mid iron, and you look at percentage miss from 200 yards or 210 yards or wherever it is. Now that's for me. Bryson, okay, he's whacking it up there and he's got 150, and that's completely different. But you miss a fairway, you hack out, you still got 5 iron into your slopey green. You might miss the 5 iron, then not get it up and down. You made 6, and you go, how have I just made double? And I mean, like, this is the other sneaky thing with it. That first hole, that first tee shot, right thing at wing foot, you have to be able to move it both ways off the tee. You need to be able to hit draws and fades with driver, because the first hole especially, and there's a few others, but I'll go through in a minute, but first hole's a dogleg left, with the camber of the fairway going opposite. So if you hit it straight, it just does that down into the rough. Now the fairway's going that way, but the slope's taking you that way. So you've got to be able to hit it into the slope to try and keep it up there. Otherwise, it's just down in the rough, and that's it. And the fairways were so fast, like so firm and fast, that to hit a fairway was really quite challenging at times.
I think one of the challenges of seeing a hole like that is actually seeing the shot, because it just sends you the other way. And it sounds ridiculous because it's still just a golf swing, but I always feel like when you get that sort of, so say you've got a dogleg left to right and the wind's off the left, so often people meaning me, hit like that high right, like the opposite shot you're trying, because it's so difficult when you're going against something in terms, whether it's a wind or whether it's a slope, going against something that seems to have the opposite effect on the shot you're trying to hit. I find it such a challenge to actually stand there and go, right, you've just got to make a golf swing. But I guess there, like you said before at Valderrama, if you don't do it, then you are dead.
Yeah.
So, and you can hit a good shot and be dead. So you might as well just commit to it, and just whatever happens, happens.
That's exactly it. Like the struggle at US Open, like I like to, you've seen me do it. Like I either peg it down and just heel it off that left semi and hit a fade. So, with like a bit of a fairway finder, almost like a bit of a second serve, if you like, in tennis.
Yeah.
You just can't do it because the shape of the hole won't allow you to hit that shot. All you're ever going to do is hit that shot into the rough.
Yeah.
So you may as well stand there and just try and bomb it.
Yeah.
And it, there's a massive debate going on at the moment, isn't there, about the distance Bryson's hitting it and blah, blah, blah. He was always going to be very close. Even seeing it in practice, seeing the golf course in practice, it was like, this is just, there's the traps he can fly it over that other people can't.
Yeah.
But, back to that whole distance debate, I don't see anybody else go doing, the dedication he has.
Yeah, fair play to him. Yeah,
fair play. If you're willing to spend that amount of time, that amount of effort, and all sort of, you fully deserve to have that sort of advantage. Of course you do.
Yeah.
And and people calling it to be dialed back, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. If he's willing to work that hard at that, fully deserves everything he gets, in my opinion.
I mean, Valderrama's not a long course, is it though?
No, and to be fair,
you do that there?
He'd be massively neutralised there. Massive, right. I think. Certain holes, you just have to hit it into certain areas. I say that. You might get on certain tees and go, well, I'll just knock it over there and I'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it is an interesting one, that with the distance thing. And like you said, like I watched it, and whether you like Bryson or not, it's ridiculous how good he was that week, how much better he was than everyone else in the field.
Mate, you watch him on the range, and it's not like he's lashing at it and getting the odd one. You know, you stand there on the range sometimes, you start going at driver a little bit, and it's like, oh, toed that one a little bit, oh, heeled that one a little bit, oh, that one's out the middle, got that one's good. It's like every single one's like middle, iffy shot, middle. You know, it's just like, oh, okay, this guy is good. But yeah, so back to US Open as well. Like, I was really disappointed with it, to be fair, because I actually played tee to green well enough to make cut. Definitely, I just putted like an absolute clown. But like I said, if you've got any little not weakness, but just a little, not too sure, you're done.
Well, the beauty of it as well, though, of US Open, and it's part of, like, and again, some people don't like it, but I like the fact that if you make the cut, you're in the tournament.
Yeah, you're never too far away.
You're not making the cut to make the numbers up. You make the cut, you've got a chance, really, because you're not going to be far away. The leader's not going to be 10 under par.
No.
You're always going to have a chance, but yeah, you missed it. I think you pretty much missed it on the back nine, didn't you, in the second round?
Yeah.
You were in, and then I think you doubled 10. And maybe made a couple of bogeys coming in, but you were in.
So doubled the first hole, doubled the first hole. Yeah. And again, like you say, you just can't miss it in certain places. I've missed it in the right rough off the tee. I had 5-iron in my hand thinking I could get it out of a lie. I've got the heel of the club into the rough, and it's just gone left of me, left of the green, and to that flag. I've then hit it on the other side of the green, and me and Jay are literally looking at it, scratching our heads going, not sure you can keep this on the green now, mate.
That's why you put it bold, you know, because you have a lot of them head scratching things.
Yeah. But then, like, literally had to put it into the fringe to keep it on the green. Well, to keep it sort of proximity. I got it to like 8 foot, which is a great putt, and then missed the 8-footer and made double.
You missed a cut by 2 or 3, didn't you, in the end there?
Yeah, to be fair, I made awful 3-putt on the 5th hole, which was my 14th.
Yeah.
Like from 20 foot, missed it in the fairway trap off the tee. A great shot at the fairway trap, got it to 20-25 foot, and then 3-putted. I was like, clown, absolute idiot. And then, to be fair, I bombed it down 9 to par 5, my last hole, and had 7-iron into the green. You know, trying to make eagle, took it on, and just missed it in the trap left, and then just didn't hit a good bunker shot. And at that point, I've miscut anyway, so it was just, sorry.
Let's go.
But I wasn't too far away, but I had 35 putts in the second round, which is just ridiculous. It's just, I had 66 putts for 2 rounds. It's that's just not going to get it done, you know, for someone who averages under 30.
Is that a difference because of the greens are so different? And like you said before, I think when you've been playing more, I think you can adapt better, like seeing pace and line and how much it breaks and match them up much more, not easier, it's hard to say it's easier at US Open, but much more naturally if you've been doing it for a while, and certainly playing those sort of golf courses. But I think when you've not been playing, you've only been putting on your own green, which is one pace, one break, and you know all the breaks anyway. You know where you're meant to hit the putts. And you're on a green that you're not used to. I think that's something that a lot of people probably underestimate, and they'll go play at another course and they'll spend 5 minutes on the putting green before they go out and play.
Yeah.
And you can't match pace and speed properly because it's so different. Every course is so different.
Again, the way the greens are as well, because they're so sloped back to front with like shells that you've got to get over. It's very much a case that if you keep it under the hole, you're just front half of the green, front edge of the green with 40, 50, 60 foot, just knocking it up the green. if you've hit it to any sort of proximity, it's usually past the flag or on quite a slope. And it's 12 on a stimp, and everyone out there wears bloody spikes. So like, I'm not, you know me, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses or anything, but you know when greens get quick and bobbly, you know what I mean, quick and bobbly, and you're above the hole, and you're just trying to just cozy it. You can't really just knock in that 4-footer, 5-footer at any pace. You're always front door in it. So by the end of round 2, you're literally like, oh God, no. And literally all the feel and everything just disappears, and you're just left there looking like an absolute mug. You're like, no, I don't want to do it anymore.
I did text you, didn't I? I said, do you enjoy it though? He said, yeah, if you like panic attacks, it's enjoyable, yeah. After the US Open, you come back, week off, you had the 4 in a row, week off, then out to this week, Scottish Open, which is filmed, as we're filming this, Scottish Open's just finished, actually. 1 round, cold, Scottish weather, back's not great, think you're Tiger Woods, so can't play in the cold, can't warm it up. Tiger Woods says you can't do it, so I can't do it. So,
yeah, basically that's exactly it. No, to be fair, it was cold, wet. I actually got best draw in the world. To be fair, Thursday morning was horrific.
Yeah, it was really windy Thursday morning
and raining. A couple of lads couldn't get to the second hole in 2 par 4. We didn't drive 3 wood short, couldn't get there. It was that bad. So afternoon, it was fine. It was playable. Didn't feel good in warm up. Felt so it was afternoon. So did all my exercise as I do anyway. But it was cold, so I've got a few layers on and stuff, and it's like my left hip just won't move into the place I want it to. So it struggled to get to the bottom of the ball. So I was catching everything. I wasn't striking it very good, but I was muscling around, and I got it around okay for the first 6-7 holes. I think I had it 2 under par, birdied the par 5. What was my 7th?
Yeah.
Then we got to the 8th, par 3, and we were waiting as we were walking up. The group in front were only halfway down the hole, and then they were on the green putting out. And it's a bit of a funky green as well. The green doesn't really suit the iron that you're hitting in, so it's hard to hit it close. So it takes a bit of time, that hole anyway. And it just stood there in the cold. And then I've got 4 iron in my hand. I'm first on the tee. Completely fatted 4 iron. Like back just almost wouldn't let me swing it. Completely fatted 4 iron. Made double, and then from there just getting so frustrated because once my back does that, I can't free it off again, if you know what I mean. So from there I was just, I'll be honest mate, I was so angry. Angry
at that point, aren't you? Because you can't that level, you can't compete with anything, trying to carry anything like that, can you? Second round, what time are you off second round?
7:35.
What time were you up?
5 o'clock.
Oh, that's quite late.
Yeah.
Because you've been getting up at like silly time, haven't you, to get your back warmed up?
Yeah, no. So 5. I was on site, so I literally was out my hotel room onto the range.
Right.
So, I'm warming up from 6:30.
Yeah.
So, up at 5, exercises for an hour till 6, breakfast at 6:30, and then out onto the range type thing.
Did you know at that point it's not really going to happen?
Well, it's just when I hit the first couple of chips down, like, so I was literally warming up with the wedges. So I pulled 60 out, and I literally just 5-10 yard little chips, and then just build it up. And literally the first few chips, I was like, because like one of my main feels is keeping my arms on the side of my body and almost feeling like my sternum moves the club. So the sternum, hand, and club head move together in that first move to get everything moving together. And as I did it, I felt like my chest didn't move and my arms went over here. I was like, oh no. And like then trying to physically get my body to move. And then literally I just started thinning 60-yard shots down the range, like middle ball thins. Because my hip won't go left through the ball, it just pops up. So as I'm getting to impact, like it's literally like my back goes up away from the golf ball.
Remember when I had a bad back for about 8 years?
Oh. Mate, I was like literally almost topping 9-irons by the time I got into 9. I was like, this is just what am I doing?
Yeah.
So then it's one of those where you try a few things, and it's like, well, if I try and do that, I reckon I could possibly injure myself again here. So no, enough was enough there, to be fair. Gutted, like, because it's a Rolex Series event. It's one of our bigger tournaments. Yeah. Like I say, I was frustrated the day before because I couldn't swing it the way my body just wouldn't move. You know, it's horrible. I hate pulling out of tournaments. It's horrible.
I was going to say, do you have any goals? But your goals should just be in one piece, really. But do you have any goals now? Do you set it as, right, goal race to Dubai, or are you just, right, next week, let's take it? Because the way you are at the moment, the way it's been this season, you know, back there,
I have got a few. I have got a couple of goals, but you know what I'm like. I don't want to put a load of pressure on them. Yeah, one of them is obviously I want to play Race to Dubai. Of course I do. And the other one's get my world ranking back to where it should be. Really, I got absolutely battered when you know, obviously PGA Tour started and we didn't. Yeah. So you know that bit unfair, that bit naughty, but you can't do anything about it. So you know their world ranking started before ours. Our divisor went the wrong way. Our points came off as they were growing points. So I dropped from.
As soon as you start playing, it just drops off, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I think, where am I now? Like 110, 115, dropped from like 75th, like literally like that, gone.
Yeah.
So need to play well again and get some points back on the board and go from there, really, mate.
It's nice that it's still kind of in your position with the category you've got. Still kind of a free season, isn't it? It's not like you
it is,
to try and keep a card or anything like that, just performing to try and you're looking up all the time, aren't you? You don't really need to look behind you.
No. And the one thing I've got to be careful of is my back. You know, I've come out and I wanted to play. You know, as most people, you know, want to go and play at the moment because, you know, we've been through lockdown. You haven't been competitive. You miss seeing the lads. You miss interacting, having a beer at the bar, and then you see the lads and you can't actually do those things. And it's like, oh, right, okay.
So to my world, and you go away for 6 weeks. And I'm stuck here. You're swanning off. Yeah, Trackman. I haven't seen Track. I forgot what he looks like.
He's got a big crack in him.
There's a little nick in the corner there.
Little nick, yeah, good one. So what was one about him for you for an army?
I don't know. I think just your goals of playing.
Yeah, so don't get me wrong. Like I want to be playing at the moment. I do want to be out there and competing and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, I do need to make sure my back is in as good a condition as possible come the start of next season. So I just need to manage it as well as I can. Because I don't want this ongoing now for the next 5 years. I don't want to have to put up with my back for the rest of my career. So I just want to get it as right as I can, mate, and hopefully see where we are come January.
Yeah, well, I think like it shows. And I'm not just saying this because you were me mate, but you selfishly left.
Past tense.
You selfishly left me. But I think playing with you, I think you've got so much better the last couple of seasons. And where you were climbing world rankings, I think you got to 66. I only seen it going one way. And I think, it's out of our control, the obviously lockdown and everything like that. But the way the injuries happened, it's just been unfortunate, hasn't it? Because I think you were pushing towards that top 50, and mate, it's exactly where I don't think there's ever a should in this game, but it's exactly where I think you belong to be. Because I think your improvement the last couple of years has been, mad. I think especially in control of iron shots and everything like that. I've done a video, my update video. You weren't in it again because you weren't here again. But
I'm no longer your mates. Go on.
But it's that level that we were speaking about of being able to control the ball flight, being able to control it in different conditions. Like, I feel like I could go out and play really good, shoot good scores if it's flat calm, if the conditions are absolutely flat calm, and it never is. And you go out in the wind and you go in, don't really know how to play this shot now. And that's where I think you've got so much better over the last few years.
Yeah, it's like you say, it was a bit of a shock to the system in those first few weeks out because you train a certain way and then you forget about those little external elements. So, no, it's something that I'll get back again and
crack on.
Exactly that, mate.
Right, mate. Good to see you again.
And you.
Is it?
Of course it is. You wouldn't know what to do without me.
Wow. Well, I've done it for the last 6 weeks. So
Yeah. How's that been?
cheers, lad.
Cheers, mate. Speak to you in a bit.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
And we got guests in, chatting to them about golf, whatever's going on in there. Fuck off. I fucking hate intros. And we used to get, fucking hate them, you know. I really hate them.
Winds me up, that one. Love that. Can't you just chip it round? Can't you chip it round?
Wound up. No one's even said anything. He's going to punch the screen in a minute.
Oh, just half swing it. Try and buffer.
Did you buffer?
No.
What he's got coming up, because there's still quite a lot of events that he's got, so... Vinny O'Connor. Liked my tweet then. You liked my tweet then? It's not funny, that, is it?